This past season was my first real season of ADV riding, and I definitely learned a lot. And I learned most of it the hard way. So in this video, I want to share the biggest lessons I learned in my first season of adventure riding. Before we get started, I'm doing another giveaway. Marting Top sent me their 10-liter riding pack to give away to one of you. Whether you have a sport bike, adventure bike, or a hog, this compact bag is perfect for carrying your essentials. The winner will have a choice between Coyote Brown or Black. Details on how to enter are in the description down below. The giveaway ends on March 9th, 2026. I'm going to start out with something that I definitely learned the hard way, and that would be overconfidence can get you hurt. Unfortunately, I have a really big problem with going into things being unsure of myself and really not that confident, but as soon as I start doing decent, I'm like, oh man, this is easy. This is nothing. I can handle this until it bites me in the butt. And that's definitely what happened when I rode Section 8 of the Great Ohio Adventure Trail. I had ridden some much easier portions of the GOAT earlier in the season, and I was just super excited to tackle Section 8. That excitement, coupled with my overconfidence and some slippery leaves, caused me and my Transalp to take an involuntary dirt nap. And let me tell you, pain is a really good teacher because the entire rest of the ride, I just was not taking any chances. I was locked in. It's like when you almost wreck your car and you like turn your radio off and just drive in silence. That's pretty much what the rest of my ride was like. I have like PTSD. Take it slow. Oh, and I also got a giant disgusting bruise as a souvenir, so not a fun lesson to learn. The second lesson I learned was I need a better solution for navigation because Google Maps just isn't covering it. Of course, it's fantastic on the road, but you don't have the ability to view GPX files. I thought that maybe Google Maps would be able to do turn-by-turn navigation for this route. Unfortunately, that was not the case. What I ended up doing was I would just pinch and zoom and like scroll as we were riding on the trail, and it was just a miserable experience. This season, I'm definitely looking into getting a standalone GPS or maybe like Gaia or something. If you guys have any recommendations for navigation, please drop them down below in the comments because I really want to find a solution before this season begins. The third lesson I learned was having the right gear is extremely important. As you can see in this clip, I'm just wearing an armored hoodie and some regular cargo pants. Now this is probably fine for just going down the road, but on my longer adventure rides, I found myself having a lot of anxiety that I would turn into a meat crayon if I had a nasty fall. So I did some research, and about halfway through the season, I picked up some MSR Voyager riding pants. And I'm so glad I did because if I was just wearing cargo pants during that fall, I probably wouldn't have walked away with just a bruise. After that experience, I decided it was also time to upgrade my jacket. So I picked up an MSR Explorer ADV jacket. Even though this thing was a little pricey, I figured skin grafts and broken bones would be much more expensive. I also picked up a pair of Alpine Stars waterproof touring gloves. Nothing beats the peace of mind that actual adventure gear provides. Being protected, dry, and comfortable is super important, especially if you're going to crush a lot of miles. The fourth lesson I learned was understanding the difference between riding to camp and camping to ride. This is definitely a lesson I am still in the process of learning. I've got a really bad tendency to overpack. There are two reasons for this. The first reason is I catch myself always saying, what if? What if I need this? What if I need that? And that causes me to bring a bunch of stuff that I don't really end up using. The second reason is I really don't have that much lightweight camping gear. But I do plan on changing that because I want to do some mini moto camping videos on my little XR150. I already feel bad enough that it has to carry around my thickness. So I would feel even worse if I had to load the poor thing up with heavy camping gear. And as far as the Transalp goes, I would really like a lightweight setup as an option for that bike. That way, if I'm just camping overnight to go riding the next day, I don't have a lot of extra bulk. That makes the bike less maneuverable and harder to pick up if I happen to dump the hog. My strategy for this season is to have two different setups. One heavier but more comfortable setup for when I don't plan on riding anything too difficult or if I'm doing a multi-day camping trip. The other will be a much lighter and more streamlined setup for when I want to hit some tougher trails or if I'm just camping overnight. Most of my camping trips are just overnight, which brings me to my fifth and final lesson. You don't need to go on a multi-day expedition to enjoy adventure riding. Almost all my trips last season were just overnight trips, and that's because I work a job where I really never get 2 days in a row off. It's pretty rare, but I still make the most of the time I have. Would I love to go on longer, more extensive trips? Absolutely. But that's not realistic for everybody, and I just want to show you guys that ADV riding can fit into a normal life. I just wanted to be on two wheels as often as possible, hanging out with my buddy. And just because your miles aren't done all at once doesn't mean they don't count. You can still progress as a rider doing short trips. I realized that the most important thing is just staying consistent and getting out as often as I can. So there you have it, the 5 lessons I learned in my first season of adventure riding. Obviously, there were a lot more, but I thought these were the most important. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and of course, I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Also, if you're shopping for gear, check out my description. I've got some affiliate links in there along with some coupon codes. Using those would really help me out, especially with projects I have planned in the future. And speaking of projects, I've got a pretty cool one planned for 2026. Okay, where are my glasses? Oh, no way! No way! There's no way! Oh. Okay.
We might not be able to move this tree.